Hey guys, this is going to be a what if that I'm doing for a fan to recognize her for all the help that she's done in the Discord. And yeah, so thank you. She's changed her Discord name a few times. Hell Roman or Hell Nico Roman Sis. Fucking Christ. She was originally named Laz. So much easier to say. But I wanted to thank her by putting her in a story, and this is her avatar picture. So, yay! But the name of this what if is going to be What If Deku, or Fem Deku, was Mina's sister. So, I'll be right back. This is going to be her abilities. And her. So, she had a great idea, and I just tweaked it a tiny bit so she could summon Hellhounds, because she's a Hellhounds queen. And Mina is going to have a slightly similar quirk, but she's not going to be able to summon Hellhounds. She's going to be able to summon only one Hellhound. And Mina has the ability to attack with fire. Uh, um, her effects and abilities, or her cat-like features, because I have her right there. Her cat-like features can be, or wolfish-like features can be thrown or used as fire weapons, and she can only summon one Hellhound. And on the other hand, she can summon as many as she wants. So, the name of this main character is going to be Laz, short for Lazarus. And we start when they are born, and their parents freak out because they're mutations. The father has a cat quirk, and the mother has a fire quirk, but what the hell are these? They're saying. So they get left in an orphanage, and they're just left there. They're not taken care of well. They're abused. They're anything bad you could think of is happening to them. And Laz gets adopted. Mina stays in the orphanage. Laz gets adopted, and she's sad that she couldn't be with her sister, but she was adopted before she was 4. She's currently 3.5 right now, and she doesn't have her quirk yet. Well, her full quirk. Oh, crap. And when Laz gets her quirk, she's used as a plaything for people and told that she's a worthless dog, that no one wants to talk to her or no one wants to be her friends. So she's raped, sexually assaulted, beaten, anything you could think of, and she's mentally shut down. And one day, a hero in disguise is going around at all the illegal prostitution places, and they see this emotionless child in front of them. And they see this and freak the hell out. And they take off their disguise, and they're a pro hero, and they grab the child and jump out of the window because it was a second story building. It was the second story on a 2-story building. And one of the cops that was waiting for them to come out and say that the ring is still there sees them jump out of the window with a little girl, and this pro hero yells, "It's the right place." And the cop does a hand sign to the rest of the cops that are around the corner, and all the cops start flooding the building. And the 2 adoption parents get arrested for child abuse and uh, uh, prostitution of a child. And she's taken to the hero's home, and the hero has a, and you might be a little weirded out by this, but the hero has a home with a fire user, and he's also a hero. Rei Todoroki is going to be a hero in this one, so she's not going to go insane. She's just going to be very depressed a lot of the time. And so Laz gets taken to Rei's home, and she's put in a room. She's given food 3 times a day, and finally Laz comes out of this emotionless stupor, or emotionless depression that she had, a little, and she sees that she has a computer. So she walks over to the computer, and she gets on it, and she starts watching videos. And these aren't just any normal videos, these are videos of heroes, of people who save others. And Laz doesn't remember anything. She has short-term memory. I forget the medical term, but she forgets everything that happened the day before ever since she started getting abused. So she's watching these videos, and then she falls asleep. She wakes up the next day, and she starts watching videos again, because she doesn't remember this. And she thinks that she's still at her old house. The one that she was in for uh, 3 years. So she's 9.5 right now. Or 6 years. So she just stays in that room, and then finally Rei is like, okay, I'm gonna go check on her. And Rei walks in, and she's in her pedestrian clothes, and she walks up to her and says, hey, I came to ask you a question. And she goes, yes. And she's in a very polite tone for being just being out of a very abusive household. She asks, what's your name? And she goes, Lazarus. Lazarus Ashido. Yes, I'm giving the last name Ashido. And Rei goes, okay, what are you watching, Laz? And Lazarus was normally called Monster or Demon, not Laz or Lazarus. So he was like, and she stopped. She's stunned. And Rei goes, are you okay? And she goes, you don't need to be so respectful to me. And Rei goes, yeah, I do. You're a guest here at my house. And Lazarus tilts her head, going, what? And Rei's like, yeah, you're a guest at my house. And so she coaxes Lazarus out of the room, and Lazarus sees Shoto Todoroki, Toya, and Fuyumi. Oh crap. Um. Forget the last guy's name. But she sees them, and she's like, okay. And she knows what her quirk is. She knows what her name is. She knows her last name. But she doesn't remember the people who adopted her, their name, or where she is every time she wakes up. And Rei says, do you not remember when I saved you? And she goes, no, I don't remember anything from the last few days. I don't remember anything since I've been 4.5-ish. And Rei's like, oh, well, I'll make you a doctor's appointment so we can check out if you have any conditions. And she goes, okay. So a few months of them constantly reminding her of who they are gets a little tiring for Rei, but she continues working at it because Laz starts to remember Ray's name. Not what she looks like, but her name of Ray Todoroki. She's starting to remember Enji Todoroki and Shoto Todoroki, but she doesn't remember the names to the faces. And she starts to wake up every day and feel comfortable in this room. She's normally never comfortable in a room alone. Alone without either Ray or Shoto. But she feels comfortable in this room nowadays. And Ray walks in saying, "Hey, Laz, it's Ray." And Ray goes, "Oh, okay." And she goes, "You have a doctor's appointment today. We scheduled it a few weeks ago, and it's time." And she goes, "Okay." And she hesitantly gets dressed and leaves with them. They get to the doctors. They do CAT scans, MRIs, a complete scan of her. They test her genetics. They test everything. And they say that she has a medical condition that she will forget everything, that mostly everything that has happened the last few days, or the exact last day when she falls asleep. And Ray is just awestruck at what happened, and he says it happened because of all the physical trauma to her head and all the mental trauma that she had when she was in that household. And Ray's getting all this information because Ray has so far adopted uh, Lazarus Ashido, and he says that we had someone similar like that come in to check a quirk out yesterday. And Ray goes, "Who?" And he goes, "Her name was Mina Ashido, I think." And Ray goes, "Could I get an appointment to meet them?" And he goes, "Yeah, here's the number for the orphanage." They finally came in to check her quirk, and she had a very, very, very powerful quirk. I think it was S rank, and it looks like, and the machine goes ding, and he runs over and sees the thing, and he goes, "Well, it looks like her quirk is as strong, or maybe even more stronger than Mina's." And she goes, "Okay, well, I'd like to talk with Mina one day, so I'm gonna call her and see what I can do about getting them to meet." And he goes, "Okay." So he hands them a number to the orphanage so they can meet. So we skip 3 months, and Mina and Lazarus are finally meeting. And so Ray takes Lazarus to a cafe, and it's close to an orphanage. And sees the orphanage, and she starts crying. And Ray touches her shoulder and says, "What's wrong?" And she goes, "I left my sister there." And she's now bawling at this. And Ray goes, "It's okay. I think I found her." And Lazarus looks up and asks, "What do you mean?" And she's still crying, but crying a little less. And all of a sudden, they hear a little squeal from behind them. And Lazarus turns around and sees someone that looks like her. And Mina goes, "Is that you, Lazarus?" And Laz goes, "Mina!" So they hug, they have fun, and Mina starts talking about putting people together in relationships and how it's fun. And Lazarus says, "I don't understand your definition of fun." And she goes, "That's fine. Uh, so, how's life been?" And Lazarus looks down a little sad, and Ray touches her shoulder, saying it's fine. And she looks at Mina and says that she had a very bad childhood in a bad home, and she'd prefer not to talk about it. And Lazarus looks up and says, I don't prefer not to talk about it. I can't talk about it. I don't remember it. And she starts yelling at Ray because she's frustrated that she can't remember anything from the prior day. And Mina is freaking out. And Mina does look like this, by the way. Ripped. She's been working out. Yeah. And Mina's like, okay. Well, I'd love to talk to you and get to know you a little bit better. And Lazarus is like, okay, I'll hopefully be able to talk to you later and get to know you again, sis. And Mina goes, okay. So we skip. So they're 10 at that point. We skip 3 years. Lazarus's memory has gotten a little bit better. She can remember names and faces, but she can't remember what she did or what she talked about the past day. And it's now midday, and she's walking to the orphanage because Ray said that she had to meet her sister again, and Lazarus was happy about that. And so she walked to the orphanage, and she knocked on the orphanage's door, and the headmaster comes to the door and says yes, and sees her and goes, "Oh, you're back." And Lazarus goes, "Well, hello, headmaster. I'd like to talk to my sister." And she goes, "Oh, she was just adopted by another hero family." And Lazarus goes, "May I have the hero family's name so I can go talk to them?" And the headmaster goes, "Sure, the Aizawas." And Lazarus goes, "Okay, I'll go ask my adoptive family to point me in that direction." So she walks away. She walks back to Todoroki's and asks, "Do you know where the Aizawas live?" And Endeavor's eyes widen, being like, "Why do you want to go there?" And she goes, "Apparently my sister was adopted by them." And Ray goes, "Oh, that's good news." And he goes, "That's not good news. We're not supposed to talk to them." And Ray goes, "Just because you're scared of goddamn Aizawa does not mean we can't talk to them." And Lazarus starts to chuckle because she always sees this stoic. And she doesn't know why, but she just chuckled. And what she normally sees is a stoic Endeavor that doesn't get scared by anything. And she sees him scared now, and Ray saw Lazarus chuckle and was like, "Why are you laughing?" And she goes, "I don't know. I just felt like laughing." And he goes, "It's not a laughing matter. He's very overpowered." And Lazarus goes, "I suppose so, and you have a normal quirk. Doesn't he not, isn't he unaffecting mutation quirks?" Okay. He goes, "Yeah, he doesn't affect mutation quirks." And she goes, "See, I'm fine." And she raises a hellhound. And she goes, "See?" And she starts petting the hellhound. And I'll be right back. She summons one of these. So this is just fire. There's just fire on top of this monster. And Endeavor backs up a little because he's still scared of those things after what it did to him. And we flash back to when Endeavor is training Lazarus on the fire control that she has. And Lazarus accidentally summoned a hellhound. And the hellhound gets stuck on the target that Lazarus is currently fighting. But she has the mentality of don't kill, don't kill, don't kill. So the hellhound just locks him into place. And The hellhound bit down on Endeavor's arm and almost ripped it off when Endeavor tried to get up. So he's fucking scared of those. And so Ray says, I'll drive you over to the Aizawas in a minute. I just need to finish eating. So she quickly tries to finish eating. And she does, successfully. No choking. And Lazarus has gotten close to Fuyumi, and she remembers Fuyumi's face over anybody else's. Except for Mina's. She remembers Mina's face. And her quirk's appearance. So... Oh, crap. Oh, she asks Fumi if she wants to meet Mina, her biological sister, and Fumi goes, sure. And she asks if she can come along. And Fumi is the same age as Shoto, because they were fraternal twins. Shoto has strong ice and slight fire, and Fumi has strong fire and slight ice. So their quirks kind of complement each other perfectly. And I have a question for you guys. There's an anime with a tag team duo, and their initials are BB. And if you guys can guess the anime, and you can guess the name of the team, you get 1,000 points on the Discord. And I'm going to put a answer tab in the Discord for you guys to put in your answer. And if you guys get it right, I'll give you 1,000 points. Or I'll have my admins give you 1,000 points. And thank you, Mina. He's currently working on, while I'm recording this, he's currently working on the Discord, so I need to thank him. And I need to thank Laz for all the support that she's given me and all the support that she's going to give, because she loves my videos, and I honestly hate my videos, so her just complimenting me makes me want to keep doing this for you guys, because I know you guys enjoy my stuff, and hopefully you guys will continue supporting me in this. But back on topic. So we skip an hour to Aizawa's, and Aizawa gets a ring at the door. And he says, Mina, can you get it? And Mina goes, sure. And she runs to the door, and she walks to the door, and she has heightened hound-like senses, and she smells a dog. And she's like, that's either Laz or another dog quirk. And she yells back, hey, Aizawa. And he goes, what? Is Mad Dog coming over? And he goes, no. And she goes, yay! And she opens the door and jumps on Laz, being like, hey! And Laz starts to giggle and goes, it's been a while, hasn't it? And she goes, yeah. It's been like a week. And Laz goes, yeah. Congrats on getting adopted. And she goes, yeah. It seems like Aizawa really likes cats and not dogs. So he doesn't really like Cerberus. And she goes, who's Cerberus? And she summons Cerberus, and Laz just summons one of these. One of these. And they start playing around, having fun together, because they're like brothers. Cerberus and one of these. And Mina goes, oh, okay. But I can only summon one of those, sadly. And Laz goes, oh, I could summon multiple. And she summons two more, max of 3, right this second. And Mina goes, oh, can you turn your ears, tail, and claws into fire? And she goes, no. And Mina goes, yes, I got something up above you. And Mina goes, I can. And she turns her ears into fire, and the smoke alarm goes off because all the fire coming off of Cerberus and Laz's puppies and Mina's ears, and she goes, crap. So she unsummons Cerberus, and Laz unsummons the other three dogs, and she goes, sorry. And Fuyumi's just behind her going, oh god. And so Fuyumi walks in with them, and Aizawa recognizes Fuyumi and says, well, hello, Fuyumi Todoroki. Been a while. And she goes, it has, Mr. Aizawa. How have you been? And they start talking, and Mina goes, oh, uh, Aizawa? And he goes, you could call me Shoto or Dad. And Mina goes, well, this is my biological sister. And she hugs Laz and goes, yeah, uh, the Todorokis adopted her. And he goes, and he starts rolling around on the ground, and Fumi's like, yes, he is. Jesus. And he starts laughing even harder, being like, damn, the number 2 hero is never scared of me. And Laz is like, okay. So Laz starts to get to know Aizawa after he's done rolling around on the ground, and Fuyumi starts to get to know Mina. And Fuyumi and Mina almost completely hit it off right away. And Mina asks, so, how do you like my sister? And Fuyumi, her face goes pink. Not red, pink. And Mina's like, oh. Oh. And Mina goes, just saying. She's a handful when she gets fully into something. And Fuyumi goes, what do you mean? And she goes, she doesn't stop until it's done if she gets onto a project. And she goes, I know. I've lived with her the last 4 years, 4-ish years. And Mina goes, oh yeah, you're Todoroki. Your parents kind of adopted her. And Fuyumi goes, yeah. Um, yeah. And, okay. And Fuyumi says that I'm just waiting for the perfect time to tell her, and Mina goes, oh, I'll be right back. I gotta answer a text. So everybody is having fun at Aizawa's, and Mina's teasing Fuyumi about her feelings for uh Laz. And we skip half a year, and Fuyumi has finally confessed to Laz, and Laz has started to gain her memory fully back. And she's starting to get feelings too towards Fuyumi. And oh crap, it's very echoey in here. And Fuyumi is seeing this and is reciprocating the feelings. And one day, Fuyumi finally asks Laz out on a date. So they go out, and while they're on their date, they get attacked. And Fuyumi gets critically injured. And Laz goes berserk. Completely and utterly annihilating the guy that has attacked them. So she's currently going crazy. And she summoned like 10 hellhounds around her just to protect her and Fuyumi. And she didn't call the ambulance. She isn't mentally there to call the ambulance. So someone called an ambulance, and the ambulance driver gets there, and he's trying to calm down Laz because Fuyumi's currently passed out. He's trying to calm down Laz to get to Fuyumi and help her. And hi, Lucia. Lucia is a dog in my neighbors that my neighbors take care of. Well, the paramedic shows Laz the um, little medic bag that he has, and Laz lets only him near Fuyumi, and she's watching him very closely, and he takes out a piece of gauze and starts wrapping up the wound that Fuyumi has, and he slowly backs up and says that we need to get her into the ambulance so we could take her to the hospital. And he's enunciating his words so everybody can understand him, including Laz, because she's still going a little crazy. And so Laz just grunts and nods and jumps into the ambulance, and the guy pulls out the stretcher and puts Fuyumi on it, and then puts her in the back of the vehicle. And by this time, Endeavor and Ray have been called, telling them that someone attacked their daughter, and Laz has gone a little crazy because all the heroes know who Laz is because number 2 hero's adopted daughter is kind of famous in the hero community, at least. And they get to the hospital, and Laz still has the berserk kind of eyes going that you see in the picture, and Ray gets there and sees that Laz is angry, and she walks up to Laz and slowly just puts her hand on Laz's shoulder, and Laz is starting to calm down very, very slowly, but she's still really protective over Fuyumi, and she flips her head around and sees Ray, and she calms down a little bit faster because someone's there that can protect Fuyumi. And she knows this, and she calms down completely, and she passes out. And when she wakes up, she has a massive hangover. And this is a few days later. Fuyumi's still in the hospital, and Laz was also put in a bed, but she was also put in the same room as Fuyumi, or they might have had a catastrophic failure in one of the wards of the hospital. So Laz is in the same room, and she has a massive hangover. She doesn't know what happened because her memory's not fully back yet. She's starting to get bits and pieces, but she can't remember anything from when she was at that hellhole of an old home. And all of a sudden, she passes out. Again, while she was in the middle of a sentence, and she wakes up an hour later, and she was strapped to a heart monitor after that. And Ray was crying because the heart monitor flatlined. And then she woke up and the heart monitor started beeping again. And Ray was like, "The hell is going on?" And she jumps on Laz saying, "Oh my god, you died." And Fuyumi was asleep the entire time. And Laz goes, "What? Who are you?" And Ray hears this and goes, "Oh god, what happened?" And Laz looks around and says, last thing I remember was going to a new home and being locked in a room." And she now has the mentality of a 4-year-old. And and Ray's like, "Oh no, 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 no. And so she says that you have been living with the Todorokis, the number two heroes, Endeavor's family, for the last few years of your life. And she goes, how many? And Ray says, you've been living with us for 5 years now. Well, 5-ish years. And she goes, okay, anything else? And Ray goes, no. Oh, yeah, I did save you from that abusive home that you were in. And Laz looks at her and goes, abusive? What happened? And Ray says what they were convicted of doing to her. And Laz goes, okay. Now, what about my sister? And she goes, oh, we found her again, and you, have been talking to her for the last 4 years. And Laz looks at her and goes, what? I just, oh, yeah, you said that. And she has the intelligence of a 14-year-old, so she's putting it together really quickly, but she has the mindset of a 4-year-old. So, anything else? Oh, yeah. I'm going to go all the way up to the first day of school in this one, by the way. So, Laz gets back after a month of being in the hospital, making sure that she wouldn't do what she did again. And her memory's completely back, so she can remember everything. And she forgot about Fuyumi. She remembered the face, forgot the name. And Fuyumi's sad about this, but she finally gets to know the feelings of Lazarus. And Laz says, I love you. And she's like, I don't know why, but I just do. And I remember your face. I don't know your name, though. And Fumi was a little sad at that. And we go and skip to the entrance exams. And she walks into the building and walks straight to Nezu's office. And Nezu agreed to give her a modified test to help with the 4-year-old mentality, but it still has the exact same questions as the top test, but as the canon test, but it's a little bit easier to understand. So she aces that test. She doesn't get any of the spelling errors that he put in there. So she aced it, and he was dumbfounded at this. And so he says, go to ground beta, and I will talk to you after the test. And she goes, sure. And so she walks to a training ground with a B on it. And she's like, I think this is ground beta. And she walks up and is trying to get to the front. And Ida stops her, saying, you're going to go talk to that girl over there. And she looks over and sees the girl that he pointed at. And she goes, oh, Mina! And she runs over and hugs Mina, being like, hey, sis. And Mina gets frightened by this because she was a little nervous. And she goes, oh, hey, Laz. You come to take the test too? And she goes, yeah. I kind of had an incident. And Mina's like, what is the incident? And she goes, I'll tell you after this test. And Mina goes, okay. So Laz is currently fighting like a pro hero, but with the mentality of a 4-year-old. And someone starts screaming from underneath the rubble. And 2 dogs go and help her. A 3-headed dog and a 1-headed dog. One's on fire, the other one's not. And she's freaking out because there's 2 monsters coming towards her, and they lift the rubble up, and one of the heads barks at her and makes her run away with fear. And so the dogs drop it, and they run back to their masters. And with their masters, they're currently fighting the Zero Pointer. Oh, hi, Leo. Hi, buddy. My cat Leo just went into my view. So Laz is fighting the Zero Pointer with her flames, and Mina is currently trying to rip it apart with her flames. Hi, Leo. My cat's an idiot. We're back on topic. So, what is it? Oh, where was I? Oh, yeah. So they finally destroy the Zero Pointer, and it's now the end of the test, and Laz walks up to the observation room because she was told to go there, and she walks in, and she sees Ray, Endeavor, Aizawa, and Midnight, Aizawa's wife. And she goes, "Oh, hi guys," and she walks over to Nezu and says, "You wanted to see me?" And he goes, "Yes, I would like to talk to you about your living arrangements here on campus, because we're including the dorms this year, and I would like to know if you want anything special for your room, because I know what your parents have been doing for you and to help you." And she goes, "The only thing I want is to be next to Fuyumi and my sister." And Ray hears this and goes, "Okay, that's weird, but sure." And Nezu goes, "I can arrange that. Anything else?" And she goes, "No need." And she just walks out, and he goes, "Well, that's strange, but okay." And he calls up Powerloader and says, "Put the 2 Hellhound girls next to each other." And he goes, "Yes, sir." And he makes 3 fireproof rooms right next to each other. And the rest of them are normal rooms. And one's a heated room because of the ice quirk. And so we skip a week. They get the letters. They get accepted. Except for Laz. She didn't get a letter. And Fumi's like, "Did you not get accepted?" And she goes, "No, I did." And Fumi goes, "How do you know?" And she goes, "Nezu talked to me about the dorm situation. And I was in his little observation room watching us." And she goes, "That's why you didn't come home early." And she goes, "Yeah, it is. You want to go out?" And she just plainly says this, and Fuyumi goes tomato red. Like, And she goes, "It's okay if you don't want to. I completely understand." And Fuyumi goes, "No, yeah, let's go." And Fuyumi grabs her purse, and they go on a date, and they have fun. And Laz is a tomboy in this one, yes. She's a tomboy. And while she's out, Mina is out and about. And Mina sees this and is now stalking them. And when Mina walked into an alley next to the restaurant trying to hear them, she hears a howl from the roof. And Fuyumi heard the howl too, because she's increased her senses with the training from Aizawa. And she goes, "Did you hear that?" And Laz goes, "Oh, the howl? Yeah, I summoned that to get Mina off our back." And Fuyumi starts going even redder and going, what? She goes, yeah, Mina's been following us. She forgot I have the same sense of smell as she does. And we've been downwind from her, so I kind of knew she was following us. Fuyumi goes, oh. So we skip another week, and it's not school yet. It's a week from school. They had a 3-week off, and everybody's getting to the dorms. Fuyumi decorates her room as a traditional Japanese style room, and Laz just has a computer and has the Midoriya style room, but with no hero pictures. No, what she has is Fuyumi pictures. And Mina has a room that has the heart and the two people and a board that follows up on these two people. And she calls it the shipping board. And she runs around the campus asking for people to take a picture with. And they ask her why, and she goes, I want to make everybody my friend, and that's not why. Damn Roman Mina, damn shipping board. but uh, Fuyumi asks to see Laz's room, and Laz goes, my room's off limits for now. Can I see your room? And Fuyumi goes, sure. And so Laz goes into Fuyumi's room and feels a little hurt that Fuyumi doesn't have any pictures of her up until she walks to the door again. And she's trying to walk out when she sees the worst picture ever from her and Fuyumi. And Laz hates this picture, and Fuyumi loves this picture, apparently. And she leaves it at the back of the door so no one can see it when the door's open. But when the door's closed, like she had then when they walked in, they can both see it, and they can both talk about it. And Laz looks at this and goes, did you have to use the worst picture? And Fuyumi goes, what do you mean? This is the best picture. And Laz goes, no, that's the worst picture. And they start arguing about it being the worst and best picture. And she goes, fine. You don't have to see it because you never have to come in here. I want to see your room then. She goes, once school starts, you can see my room. And Fuyumi goes, that's no fair. I want to see your room now. And Laz says, no. Wait. Fuyumi goes, fine. I'll wait. I'll wait like a day, okay? And she goes, you gotta wait a week. Because school starts in a week. And she goes, fuck. And we skip a week, and Fuyumi and Laz have gotten a lot closer. So they sleep or Laz pretty much sleeps in Fuyumi's room and never goes in her room. And she acts like her room's a shrine, so no one can go in it except for her and Mina, because Mina already knows what's in it. Because she kind of snuck into Laz's room while Laz was setting up. So, it's the first day of school, and Laz wakes up and kisses Fuyumi's forehead, saying, you need to get up. And Fuyumi gets up, and she rubs her eyes and says, what? And Laz says, it's time for me to show you my room. And Fuyumi goes, it's so early though. And Laz goes, yeah, and we have school in 30 minutes. So we got to get up, get dressed, and get going. And Fuyumi goes, oh crap. And so she rushes and gets dressed into the school uniform. And actually, you know what? There's no school uniform. Everybody goes in their normal clothes. Except for Ida. He made a school uniform. And I don't know why he would do that. But I do. The stick of his ass. So, Fuyumi gets a crop top on, a short sleeve crop top on, and some shorts. And Laz gets pretty much what you see in the picture on, and she pulls Fuyumi into the hallway and then says, "You get to see the shrine that I worship every day." And Fuyumi goes, "What do you mean?" And Laz says, "I have the most beautiful goddess picture in here." And she opens up the door and shows one picture in particular that is a shrine to Fuyumi, and says that I couldn't ask for anybody better than you. And Fuyumi is beat red. Be like, And Laz starts laughing at her reaction, being like, I knew you'd do this. That's why I said no, not until today. She walks away, going downstairs to eat breakfast, and she sees Mina, and Mina says, "So, what was her reaction?" And she goes, she's gaping like a fish in the hallway, so you want to go see? And Mina goes, "No." And Mina pulls out a card and goes, "Your ship ticket." And Laz goes, "The fuck?" And Mina goes, "Yeah. You get one time. This one time you get to choose your own ship." And Laz goes, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah. If you go to Discord and press shop store, you're going to find the ship ticket, and it costs 10,000 points. Because I want to make the ships pretty much myself. And Mina and Roman Mina from Discord is going to help me. But I'm going to have him do that. So. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I'm leaving it off there. I plugged to the store on Discord with ship ticket. So, we have the Yeet ticket. We have the Yeet slip, and we have the ship ticket. The people who you get offended by, you can yeet for a day. We're going to have that rule. They get yeeted for a day. Because we don't like people offending other people, and we don't like people being offended here. So if you guys get offended, we can sort out what you get offended by and help you not get offended by that anymore. So I'm going to see if he can add the ship ticket. All aboard the ship! All aboard! So he's gonna see about. I'm gonna see if he can add the ship ticket, and if he can, yay! If he can't, oh well. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next part. Bye.